This is your wake-up call. Today I'm giving you 10 powerful strategies to get up and get it done. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. If you're serious about your life, if you're tired of being average, then lock in, because what I'm about to say could change the entire trajectory of your life. Please help spread this ancient wisdom to more people. Hit subscribe, smash the like button, and drop a comment below. It's just one click. These thoughts could inspire or help someone else on their journey. Together, we can make a difference. Number 1. Destroy the first excuse. The first excuse you make, the one that tells you not to start, that says maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, is the most dangerous moment of your entire journey. That excuse is where your life begins to drift away. The second you give it any power, you allow it to take root in your mind, and from there, it grows. Excuses are the silent killers of progress. They don't need to scream at you, they only need to whisper. And in that whisper, they carry with them a slow, creeping defeat that leads you nowhere. Nowhere. That is where excuses lead you. It's not just about deciding to act, it's about what happens before you make that decision. The first excuse is the true test. It's not about the circumstances, it's not about the environment, it's not even about the challenges ahead. It's about how you choose to respond the moment that first excuse creeps into your mind. That is where the fight starts. That is where you win or lose the battle for your future. The first excuse will always feel logical. It will feel safe. Your brain is wired to protect you from discomfort, from pain, from risk. And what better way to avoid all of that than to come up with an excuse? You start thinking, well, maybe I'll be ready tomorrow. Maybe I just need a little more time to prepare. Maybe the timing isn't right. You're buying into a lie. It's not preparation that you need. It's action. The time is never right. It's never going to be perfect. And the longer you delay, the less you'll ever accomplish. Think about it for a second. What is the cost of giving in to that first excuse? It's not just the loss of one moment, it's the loss of everything. You don't just lose today, you lose tomorrow, you lose next month, you lose next year, you lose all the chances you could have taken. You lose your dreams, your goals, your vision for a better life. Every single moment you allow that first excuse to control you, you're putting your entire future on hold. Every person who has ever achieved greatness did not wait for the perfect conditions. They didn't wait for a sunny day, for the right mood, or for the stars to align. They decided, once and for all, to commit to the mission. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more putting things off. And that decision, to stop listening to the first excuse, is the defining moment that sets the winners apart from everyone else. That is where the champions are made. Now let's talk about what happens when you don't destroy the first excuse. It's simple. You stay where you are. You stay stuck. You stay in the same place you've always been, doing the same things you've always done. You waste time, and time is the one thing you can never get back. You stay in your comfort zone because that's where excuses thrive. Excuses thrive on comfort. They thrive on fear, they thrive on hesitation, and they thrive on indecision. But none of that matters in the grand scheme of your life. Think about what it costs you when you listen to the first excuse and decide not to take action. It costs you your future. It costs you the one thing you can never buy back. Time. You can always earn more money. You can always get more material things. But time? Time slips through your fingers like sand, and once it's gone, you'll never get it back. You need to treat every moment like it's your last, because someday it will be. The choice is simple. You either destroy the excuse now, or you suffer the consequences later. The consequences of inaction are far more dangerous than the discomfort of starting before you're ready. When you destroy the first excuse, you are choosing action over inaction, courage over fear, progress over stagnation. You are choosing to move forward even if you don't feel 100% ready. You're choosing to step into discomfort because you know that discomfort is where growth happens. The moment you move past the first excuse, you move closer to the life you want to live. You need to get real with yourself right now. Are you really ready to keep living this way? Are you ready to keep giving in to your excuses, allowing them to control you, allowing them to tell you when to start and when to stop? Because if you are, then this is where you stay. This is the place where dreams die, where potential is wasted, and where greatness is never realized. But if you choose to destroy that first excuse, if you choose to fight it with everything you've got, then something incredible happens. You change. You transform. Your life begins to shift in a way you never thought possible. And it all starts by taking that first step right now. The first excuse will always be there. It's easy. It's comfortable. It's the path of least resistance. But if you want more, if you want to build the life you're capable of living, you cannot afford to listen to it. You cannot afford to wait until you feel ready. There's no such thing as ready. The time is now. The action is now. The moment to destroy the first excuse is now. The beauty of committing to action before you're ready is that it forces you to grow. It forces you to take the leap of faith, to trust yourself even when you don't have all the answers. You will stumble, you will fall, you will make mistakes. But here's the thing, you'll learn. You'll get stronger. Every time you take action, every time you push through the fear, the discomfort, and the excuses, you become a better, more capable version of yourself. That is the secret to success. Think about your dreams. Think about where you want to be. Are you going to let an excuse steal that from you? Are you going to sit on the sidelines and let life pass you by? Or are you going to stand up, fight back, and make something happen? The choice is yours. Number 2, commit before you're ready. If you want to get up and get it done, you need to understand one undeniable truth. Waiting for the perfect moment is the fastest way to guarantee that you never move forward. The world doesn't reward hesitation. It doesn't reward waiting until everything is aligned, until all the conditions are perfect, and you're absolutely certain you have all the answers. The world rewards action. This is where most people fail. They think they need to be ready before they commit. They wait for the stars to align. They wait for the perfect opportunity to present itself. They wait for the fear to subside, for the uncertainty to disappear, for everything to feel safe and comfortable. Let me make this crystal clear. You will never feel ready. You will never be prepared enough. Waiting for perfection is a lie you tell yourself to keep from moving forward. It's your mind convincing you that the risk of failure is too great. It's an excuse, plain and simple. And if you're waiting for the moment when you feel ready, then you're already a step behind. Committing before you're ready means stepping into the unknown with no guarantees. It means daring to make the decision when the road ahead is uncertain, when your stomach churns with fear, and when your mind is screaming at you to wait until the time is right. But guess what? That perfect moment you're waiting for doesn't exist. There is no guarantee that you won't face hardship, obstacles, or failure. But there is one certainty. If you don't commit now, you'll never move forward. It's easy to say you're going to do something. It's easy to talk a big game, to come up with all the plans and the strategies, but talk is cheap. Action is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Action is what creates results, and results are what matter. If you want success, you need to commit with every ounce of your being, now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Your future success is determined by the choices you make today. If you keep waiting for everything to be just right, you'll never make any progress. You'll stay stuck. Here's the hard truth. You will never have everything you need to be fully prepared. The world will never hand you a roadmap. There will always be something missing. There will always be something to learn. There will always be a fear of failure. The most successful people aren't the ones who waited until they had all the answers. They're the ones who committed despite not knowing what was going to happen next. They knew that the journey itself would teach them what they needed to know. They knew that taking action was the only way to learn, grow, and evolve. So they committed. They moved forward without a safety net. Think about the greatest achievers in history. Think about the entrepreneurs, the innovators, the leaders who have changed the world. Did they wait until they felt 100% confident? Did they wait for the perfect timing, the perfect conditions? No. They committed before they were ready. They jumped in, feet first, knowing they had no choice but to succeed because they had already made the decision. They understood that inaction breeds regret, while action breeds progress. You have to commit even when you're not sure you can do it. The most dangerous mindset you can adopt is one that says, "I'll wait until I'm ready." This mindset keeps you in a perpetual state of paralysis. It keeps you from taking the leap. And that is the one thing you can never afford. Because when you don't commit, you lose. There's no two ways about it. You either act and face the consequences, or you stand still and allow life to pass you by. If you want to get up and get it done, you have to be willing to make the choice now. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. Don't wait for your doubts to vanish. They will never go away. If you wait until you're ready, you're waiting for permission. You're waiting for validation from your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. You're waiting for the world to confirm that you can do it. And let me tell you something. The world won't give you permission. The world doesn't care if you're ready. It cares if you take action. It rewards those who take bold, decisive action. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to know all the details, the potential obstacles, or the risks. You need to commit. You need to make the decision to go forward, knowing that everything you need to figure out will be revealed to you on the way. Success is built on momentum. And the first step is always commitment. The moment you commit, you set things into motion. Things start to happen. Opportunities begin to unfold. And even when the road is tough, you'll have one thing that keeps you going: your commitment. And here's the most crucial part. Once you've committed, there's no turning back. This isn't about dipping your toes in and testing the waters. This is about diving in headfirst, knowing you have no option but to swim. The moment you commit, your focus must shift entirely to execution. There's no time for second guessing. There's no time for regret. There's no room for hesitation. You've made the decision, and now it's time to follow through. If you want to get up and get it done, you must take ownership of your choices. No excuses, no delays. You made the decision to commit, and now it's your responsibility to see it through. And believe me, you will face challenges. You will face setbacks. You will question yourself, and you will wonder if you've made the right choice. But that's part of the process. It's part of the grind. It's what makes you stronger. Commit to the process. Commit to the journey. Commit to your future. This isn't just about business. This applies to every area of your life. Whether you're building a career, improving your health, or working on a relationship, the principle is the same. Commit first. Figure it out later. You will never have all the answers at the beginning. The details will fall into place as you move forward. The moment you commit is the moment your life begins to change. Commitment is about standing firm in the face of uncertainty. It's about believing in yourself, even when there's no evidence to support that belief. It's about trusting the process, knowing that your growth and success are waiting on the other side of your decision. When you commit, you step into your power. You become a force to be reckoned with. You become unstoppable. And here's the secret. Once you commit, you become the person who follows through. You stop being a dreamer. You stop being someone who just thinks about what they want to achieve. You become a doer. And that's when everything changes. That's when the results start coming. So make the decision. Commit to what you want with everything you have. Don't wait for perfection. Don't wait for the stars to align. Commit now before you're ready, and watch how the universe begins to open up in front of you. Because once you commit, there's no stopping you. Number 3. Use pain as fuel. Pain is not something to be feared. Pain is not your enemy. It's your fuel. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you will unlock the power you've been searching for. Life is going to hit you hard. It will bring you to your knees. It will make you question everything. But the question is, what will you do when it does? Will you crumble and let it defeat you? Or will you stand tall, use that pain, and let it fuel your rise to greatness? Pain isn't a punishment. It's a wake-up call. It's a signal that you're alive, that you're in the arena. You see, the people who thrive don't run from their pain. They don't hide from it. They don't whine about it. They use it. They turn that pain into power. And it's time you did the same. You think pain is something you need to avoid, but it's not. Pain is the raw material from which your success is built. Your growth begins the moment you decide to use your pain as fuel. Stop looking at pain as a sign to retreat. That's what weak people do. That's what people who aren't willing to pay the price for their success do. They sit down, they complain, they wallow in their misery, and they stay stuck. You're not those people. You are someone who gets up, who pushes forward, and who turns every ounce of discomfort into something greater. Pain is the soil in which your seeds of success will grow. It's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. Look at your life right now. How many times have you let pain knock you out of the game? How many times has a setback made you second-guess yourself? You think you're the only one who's ever been hurt, the only one who's felt crushed? Wake up. Every successful person you admire has been through pain. They've been knocked down, dragged through the mud, and faced every possible hardship. But they didn't stay down. They didn't let their pain define them. They used it. You've been beaten up by life, haven't you? Maybe it's been the sting of rejection, the heartache of failure, or the burn of betrayal. Maybe it's been a physical injury that took you out for a while. Maybe it's been the grief of losing someone close to you. Whatever it is, it's hurt. It's hurt like hell. But let me ask you this. What's your next move? You can either let it break you, or you can let it fuel your rise. The choice is yours. The first step in using pain as fuel is to embrace it. Stop running from it. Stop numbing it. Stop pretending it doesn't exist. You want to avoid it? You want to pretend it's not there? Fine, but you'll never grow. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in discomfort. It happens when you face the pain head-on, stare it in the face, and use it to propel yourself forward. Pain doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. You want to be a champion? You want to be someone who stands tall in the face of adversity? You need to understand this. Pain is the price you pay for success. There is no greatness without it. Every single person who's ever achieved anything of value has had to push through pain. There's no shortcut, there's no easy road. If you want the life you're dreaming about, you need to get comfortable with pain, with hardship, with struggle. Pain is your ticket to greatness. Every time you face it, you're forging yourself into something unbreakable. You know what separates the winners from the losers? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not circumstances. It's the willingness to keep going when the pain is unbearable. That's what separates the successful from the defeated. You want to be a winner? You want to stand above the rest? You want to be someone people admire and respect? You need to embrace the struggle. You need to rise every time life knocks you down. Because guess what? Life will knock you down again. And again, and again. But each time you get to decide, will I let this defeat me, or will I use it to fuel my fire? If you want to get up and get it done, there's no time to wallow in self-pity. There's no time to feel sorry for yourself. Pain will come, and when it does, you need to move fast. You need to turn that pain into something powerful, something productive. Pain will either control you, or you will control it. Don't let it control you. Let me give you a wake-up call. Your pain doesn't have to be something you endure. It can be the driving force behind everything you do. It can be the spark that ignites your passion, the fuel that powers your perseverance. Think about it. Every time you feel pain, every time you face adversity, you are being given an opportunity to level up, to become stronger, to become smarter, to become better. Every challenge, every setback, every painful moment is simply a stepping stone toward your ultimate success. The more pain you face, the more fuel you have for your fire. But here's the catch. You can't just sit there and wait for the pain to go away. You can't expect things to magically get better. The key to using pain as fuel is action. You have to act. Pain is nothing but potential energy, and it's your job to convert it into kinetic energy, to turn that pain into action. The more you push through it, the more momentum you build. And the more momentum you build, the harder it is for anything to stop you. When pain strikes, it's easy to want to quit. It's easy to give up. It's easy to say, this isn't worth it, but I'm here to tell you, it's worth it. The pain you feel now is nothing compared to the strength, the power, the success you'll feel when you push through it. You want to be the person who can handle anything life throws at you? You want to be the person who gets up no matter how hard it is? Then you need to use that pain as fuel. Every time you feel it, every time it knocks you down, use it. Don't let it defeat you. Make it your motivation. You've heard the phrase, no pain, no gain. Well, let me tell you, that's not just a catchy slogan. It's the truth. If you want to level up in life, you need to get comfortable with discomfort. You need to let your pain push you forward. It's not a roadblock. It's an invitation to grow, to evolve, to become who you're truly meant to be. So stop running, stop hiding, stand tall in the face of your pain and use it to fuel your unstoppable momentum. Your greatness is waiting on the other side of it. So the next time life hits you with pain, don't retreat. Don't make excuses. Don't complain. Use it. Turn it into something that pushes you closer to your goals. Pain will either hold you back or fuel your rise. The choice is yours. Number 4, build rituals, not routines. Routines are comfortable. Rituals are transformative. The difference? One keeps you the same. The other forces you to evolve. If you're serious about achieving greatness, you need to stop going through the motions. Stop drifting through life with your comfortable routines. It's time to make the switch from passivity to power. It's time to build rituals that ignite your drive, focus your mind, and propel you toward your dreams. It's easy to fall into the trap of routines. The idea of waking up, going through the same monotonous steps, and thinking it'll somehow lead you to success is a lie. You think that by just doing the same thing every day, you're moving forward. But here's the cold truth. Repetition does not equal progress unless there is intention behind it. Your routine is a security blanket. It's a lie wrapped in familiarity, a comforting illusion that tells you you're doing enough. But let me tell you something, you're not. If you want to get up and get it done, you need more than routines. You need rituals. Rituals are the actions that carry meaning, that have purpose, and that are designed to push you to the edge of your potential. They don't let you coast. They don't let you slide by. Every ritual is a commitment to growth, and every ritual demands that you bring your best self to the table. Think about it. What do you want your life to look like? Are you content with a life of mediocrity, with floating through your days as a mere passenger? Or do you want to be the captain of your ship, charting your course with unwavering determination? You must ask yourself, what do I want? And then build rituals that align with that desire, that force you to become the person capable of achieving it. There is power in rituals. Rituals are the foundation of champions. It's not about getting through the day. It's about setting a standard for your behavior, your actions, your results. Every successful person you admire didn't get there by living mindlessly. They've built rituals that guided them through the chaos and forced them to stay on track when everything else was tempting them to quit. Let's talk about what happens when you build rituals. They shape your identity. Every time you perform a ritual, you are reinforcing the kind of person you want to become. It's not just about accomplishing a task, it's about transforming yourself in the process. You are not the same person you were yesterday. You are evolving, growing, and pushing yourself to higher levels. And let me be clear, rituals require sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice comfort, convenience, and complacency, then don't even bother. The rituals I'm talking about aren't easy. They demand focus, discipline, and above all, commitment. They force you to look at your weaknesses and tackle them head-on. They hold you accountable to your own vision, to the life you've promised yourself. Every time you show up for your rituals, you are reaffirming your dedication to yourself and your future. You can't just decide to be successful and expect it to happen. Success doesn't come by accident. It comes by design, and it comes by creating the structure that will move you toward it every single day. Your rituals will guide you when your mind wants to take shortcuts. They will push you when your body wants to quit. They will keep you in alignment with your goals, even when life is trying to knock you off course. Now, don't mistake rituals for good habits or morning routines. Yes, rituals are actions you repeat daily, but they're actions that serve a higher purpose. Every movement, every breath, every step you take during these rituals is intentional. They are tools for transformation. Whether it's reading, writing, exercising, meditating, or working on your goals, your rituals have to serve your highest intention, becoming the best version of yourself. And when you build these rituals, you are no longer just going through the motions. You're no longer just checking off boxes on a to-do list. You're becoming a force to be reckoned with. You're building momentum that cannot be stopped. Rituals create consistency in your life, and consistency leads to mastery. But here's the thing, most people don't want to build rituals. They want shortcuts. They want quick fixes. They want results without the work. But here's the cold, hard truth. There are no shortcuts. There's only the grind. And if you want to elevate your life, you need to create rituals that make that grind feel like second nature. You need to embrace the discomfort that comes with growth and let it push you forward. Every ritual you create is a choice to say no to mediocrity. Every time you show up and perform a ritual, you're making a statement to the world and to yourself that you're not just here to pass the time. You're here to create something extraordinary. You're here to demand more of yourself and of the world around you. Your rituals will tell the world that you are someone who gets things done. No excuses, no delays, no second chances. But here's the most powerful part about rituals. They compound. Every time you perform them, you are stacking small victories that build on top of each other. And over time, those small victories create massive momentum. When you do something consistently, it becomes part of who you are. And once that happens, it becomes unstoppable. There's something almost magical about rituals. When you make them non-negotiable, you start seeing results you never thought possible. The more you commit, the more you become someone who can't be ignored. You'll start achieving things you thought were out of your reach. Your confidence will soar. And the best part? The results will come, but they won't come because you wanted them to. They'll come because you earned them. So, I want you to think about your life right now. Are you living in a routine? Are you going through the motions day by day, thinking that your success will somehow appear out of thin air? Or are you building rituals that force you to show up, to work harder, to give more? Are you showing up for yourself every single day without fail? If the answer is no, then stop making excuses. Get up and get it done. It's time to break out of the routine and create rituals that will change your life. Make your actions non-negotiable. Make your goals sacred. Make your vision bigger than your fears. It's time to stop being a passive observer in your own life. It's time to become an active participant in your destiny. Build rituals, make them unbreakable, and become the person you were always meant to be. This isn't just about habits. This is about transformation. This is about turning every single day into a chance to evolve into something better. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You just need to take responsibility and make your rituals a daily act of power. You've got this. Now go make it happen. Number 5, set deadlines that scare you. There's a reason you keep drifting. There's a reason you keep saying someday. And there's a reason you keep feeling the slow, crushing weight of potential you never activated. That reason? You don't have deadlines that scare you. You don't have fire under your feet. You don't have a date where it all comes crashing down if you don't deliver. And that's why nothing's happening. You're not lazy. You're undisciplined. You're not untalented. You're uncommitted. You haven't made the stakes high enough. You haven't made your time cost enough. You haven't put yourself in a corner where the only way out is forward. You've been playing soft. You've been playing scared. And now it's time to flip the switch. If you want to get up and get it done, then you better start setting deadlines that make your stomach churn. Deadlines that feel like cliffs. Deadlines that force you to become something more than what you were yesterday. Because without pressure, there is no progress. Without heat, there is no steel. And without a ticking clock, there is no urgency. Your comfort zone is a padded cell dressed up as peace. And the only way to break out of it is to give yourself a date where if you don't move, something breaks. Where if you don't act, you lose something that matters. That's how transformation begins. That's how momentum is born. Not with soft intentions, but with hard decisions. And that hard decision starts with this. You stop giving yourself forever. You stop pretending like your dreams are some endless project you'll get around to. You stop giving yourself the luxury of whenever, because whenever turns into never. Someday becomes a graveyard of goals that never had a heartbeat. And that version of you, the one that said, I'll start next month, or I just need a little more time, that version is dying in the background, slowly, quietly, pathetically. And you let it happen because you were too afraid to draw a line in the sand and say, this must happen now. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how smart you are. If you don't give yourself a scary deadline, you'll rot in your own potential. You'll sit in the same chair, live in the same life, and feel the same gnawing emptiness 5 years from now. And you'll only have yourself to blame. Not the economy, not your upbringing, not the system, you. Because you were the one who kept giving yourself permission to wait. You want to get serious? Set a deadline that makes your heart beat faster. Something that forces you to show up, even when you're tired, even when you're unsure, even when the fear screams at you to stop. A deadline that demands your greatness, that forces you to become the kind of person who finishes what they start, that burns the bridge back to your excuses and makes moving forward the only option. And don't you dare wait until it's perfect. Don't you dare wait until you feel ready. You know what those are? Lies. Beautiful, seductive lies wrapped in the language of logic. But they're killing you. The truth is, you'll never feel ready. That fear in your chest? That's not weakness. That's the sign that this deadline matters. That this date will make or break you. Let that fear in, but let it fuel you. Let it put your back against the wall so you have no choice but to fight like hell to rise. Because pressure is the birthplace of champions. Nobody becomes relentless in the land of leisure. Nobody sharpens themselves in the land of maybe. You either commit to the clock or you crumble beneath it. I'm not asking you to just pick a date. I'm demanding you marry it. You treat it like it's life or death. You stop moving it around like a child rearranging toys. You circle it. You write it down. You tattoo it on your mind. You wake up every day and ask yourself, how much closer am I? How much progress did I make? What pain am I willing to endure today to earn my result? Because this is the part most people don't understand. A deadline isn't about time. It's about identity. When you set a powerful deadline, you're not just saying I'll do it by then. You're saying I'll become the kind of person who does. You're declaring war on your weaker self. You're taking a stand against the old version of you who was okay with being average, who was okay with unfinished goals and half-built dreams. That version dies the moment you set a deadline that scares you and commit to meeting it, no matter the cost. And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, you're going to want to quit. Yes, you're going to feel like you're breaking. That's the point. That's what it feels like to evolve. That's what it feels like to grow. There will be days you want to pull the plug and pretend like it didn't matter anyway. There will be mornings where your mind screams, just give it more time. And on those days, you will look at the date you set, and you will not move it. Because that's what discipline is. It's doing what must be done when it must be done, regardless of how you feel. And the moment you cross that finish line, everything changes. Not just because you hit the goal, but because you became someone capable of hitting goals. You prove to yourself that you can be counted on, that you have the strength to follow through, that you no longer belong to the soft version of yourself who kept waiting for a better time. This is about becoming dangerous in the best way. This is about becoming unstoppable. Because once you build the muscle of meeting scary deadlines, life bends around you. People respect you. Opportunities find you. Confidence fills you, and momentum becomes your weapon. But you only get that power by going to war with your comfort. You only earn that growth by tying your dreams to a timeline and refusing to let go. So here's the question. What are you waiting for? Are you going to keep living in limbo, bouncing between bursts of ambition and seasons of sloth? Or are you going to set a deadline today, one that terrifies you, and rise? If you want to build the life you know is possible, then stop making promises and start making appointments. Treat your goals like contracts. No extensions, no excuses, no way out but through. That's what it means to live with fire. That's what it means to get up and get it done. The clock is ticking. The world isn't going to wait. The future isn't going to hold its breath for your indecision. Decide, declare, deliver, set the deadline, and become the person who never backs down from it. Number 6, speak it into existence. There's a point in your life when silence becomes your worst enemy. When holding your goals, your purpose, your drive deep inside you, hidden in whispers and hopes, no longer serves you. Because what you refuse to speak, you will never summon. What you won't declare, you won't demand. What you do not voice into the world will never return to you. Speak it into existence is not some cliché motivational catchphrase. It's a command, a battle cry, a declaration of war against the soft, cowardly version of yourself that refuses to own your ambition out loud. And make no mistake, that version of you is costing you everything. Let's get brutally honest. Most people stay stuck not because they lack ideas or ambition, but because they are too afraid to say it. They're too scared to claim something bold, to speak the thing they actually want, to risk looking stupid if they fail. They'd rather live quietly in a fantasy of maybe one day than say out loud, I will build this, I will become this, I will make this happen. You must kill that fear, because until your mouth matches your vision, you are walking in circles. Until your words match the intensity of your goals, you are playing small. You are not building, you're pretending. Until your lips speak power into the air, your life will remain powerless. You don't whisper your way into success. You don't hope your way into greatness. You declare it. You call it out of the void and dare the universe to test your resolve. You stand tall, open your chest, and scream from the core of your being. This is who I am. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I will become. Because when you speak with force, something changes. You start to believe it. You start to see it. Your mind aligns with your words. Your actions follow. It's no longer a wish. It's a decision. But the truth is, many people are silent because they're still undecided. They're still negotiating with their doubts, still entertaining the voice of fear, the comfort of mediocrity, still giving airtime to the weak part of themselves that says, be realistic, still giving in to the fear of embarrassment, the fear of being mocked, of not being good enough. Let me say this clearly. You will never be good enough if you keep acting like you aren't already worthy of pursuit. When you keep quiet, you train your brain to believe you're not serious. You reinforce the lie that your dreams are optional. You normalize the paralysis of inaction, and that silence slowly kills you. It kills your spirit. It kills your fire. It turns your drive into dust. But when you speak it out, fully, unapologetically, you wake something up inside. You shock your nervous system into urgency. You call your entire being into alignment with your mission. You set a public marker that says, watch me. And then you start moving fast. It's not enough to write it in a journal and keep it locked in your drawer. It's not enough to quietly reflect and imagine the life you want. Reflection is the warm-up. Speaking it is the trigger. Because when you say it, you are forcing it out of the world of imagination and into the territory of action. The spoken word carries weight. That's why ancient warriors declared their victories before battle. That's why every revolution begins with speech. That's why silence, in the face of your purpose, is not just laziness. It is treason. If you want to transform your life, start by transforming your language. Talk differently. Talk louder. Talk bolder. Talk like someone who has made up their mind. Talk like someone who is already in motion, already committed, already halfway there. Talk like someone who is done playing small. Say what you want. Say who you are. Say where you're going. Not with doubt, not with apology, not with weakness, but with fire. Every time you speak your goal out loud, you are cutting through the fog of your past self. You are burning the bridges to your excuses. You are forcing the real version of you, the relentless one, to step forward and take control. There's nothing mystical about this. This is psychological warfare. It's how you train your subconscious. It's how you build new identity. You don't become someone different in silence. You speak the new identity into place. You own it. You wear it like armor. You say, this is who I am now, period. And don't you dare wait for the results before you speak it. Speak it before the world sees it. That's where the real power lives. It's easy to say I'm successful when you've already got the money. But what makes you unshakable is saying, I'm a force to be reckoned with, while you're still building in silence. What makes you bulletproof is saying, I'm unstoppable, when nothing around you supports it, yet. This isn't about arrogance. This is about identity. You either declare it, or you get swallowed by the noise of the world and the whispers of your doubts. If you want to change your life, change your language. Speak it into existence, again, and again, and again. Until your mind believes you, until your friends stop laughing, until your body starts moving, until your habits match your declarations, until your life bows to your voice, because that's the real power of speech. It doesn't just move others. It moves you. It moves your soul. It shatters your excuses. It silences your fear. It tells your weaker self to sit down because the real you has something to build. And when you do this daily, relentlessly, something irreversible happens. You stop living by default and start living by design. You stop drifting and start dominating. You stop wondering what your life could be and start creating what your life will be. There's one rule here. No more silent dreams. No more internal ambitions that never see the light. No more pretending that maybe someday you'll get to it. No more waiting for the right moment. No more shrinking. From this point on, everything you want, say it. Not when you feel ready. Say it when it terrifies you. Say it when you're shaking. Say it when your voice cracks. Say it like it already exists. Say it like you've already paid the price for it. Say it like your life depends on it, because it does. This is how warriors rise. Not by hiding, not by hoping, but by declaring. This is how change begins. This is how movements start. This is how you get up and get it done. Speak it, shout it, roar it, carve it into the air with your voice. Let the world hear your promise, and then watch you build it brick by brick. Number 7, visualize the consequences of inaction. There's a silence that screams louder than 1,000 failures combined. It's not the sound of losing. It's not the sound of effort collapsing. It's the deafening silence of someone who did nothing. The man who didn't move. The woman who never tried. The life that never left the damn ground. That is the sound of inaction. And it is the most terrifying, most soul-crushing sound you will ever encounter. If you're still waiting for a sign, still searching for motivation, still hoping that the world will somehow push you off the couch, then listen closely, because this is your sign. This is the message you've been avoiding, the brutal truth that no one has the guts to tell you. You are not running out of time. You are already out of time. Every second you hesitate, every moment you spend thinking about it instead of doing something about it, is a nail in the coffin of the life you could have lived. Visualize the consequences of inaction. Not in a vague feel-good way. I mean, really see it, smell it, taste bitterness of regret on your tongue, feel the weight of an unlived life pressing down on your chest. Imagine standing 10 years from now in the same damn place you are right now and try to convince yourself that you're fine with that. You're not. You're lying to yourself if you think you are. Let me speak to you like no one else has had the courage to. That dream you've got, that goal you keep talking about but never working on, it's rotting. Every day you wait, it's decaying. And if you don't do something soon, you're going to bury it with your own hands. There is no worse pain than watching your potential die because you couldn't get off your ass. You want power? You want confidence? You want to respect the person in the mirror? Then, learn how to look your future in the eye and ask yourself this. What happens if I keep doing nothing? Because that's the path you're currently on. And you need to feel the fear of that future. You need to tremble under the weight of what that life looks like. The job you hate that eats your soul. The relationships that died from your apathy. The body that fell apart because you couldn't commit. The dreams that withered because you were too busy scrolling, too busy doubting, too busy doing everything except what mattered. Inaction is not neutral. Inaction is a decision. It is a declaration that you're okay with wasting your life. That you'd rather be comfortable than courageous. That fear owns you. That apathy has won. That you're not going to fight for more because it's easier to rot than rise. But let me tell you something brutal and liberating. You don't get to complain about the life you didn't build. If you didn't take the damn steps, if you didn't wake up and get it done, then you don't get to whine about the results. That's the contract. That's the cost of choosing inaction. So I'm asking you right now, not gently but violently, urgently, ferociously, what does it cost you to keep doing nothing? What does it cost your future? What does it cost your family? What does it cost your legacy? Because when you visualize the consequences of inaction clearly enough, something inside you snaps. The fog lifts. The lies you've been feeding yourself for years don't taste sweet anymore. They taste like poison. You see the betrayal. You see that you've been murdering your own destiny, slowly, one day at a time. And that realization, that's where power is born. When you can see the wasted life before it happens, you ignite the fire to stop it. When you visualize the regret, the sorrow, the torment of what could have been, you start to see the present for what it is, a battlefield. And you either pick up the sword, or you become the casualty. There is no in-between. You don't need another course. You don't need another guru. You don't need more time. You need to wake up. You need to feel that panic in your chest when you picture yourself old, tired, and broken by the weight of dreams you never had the guts to chase. That panic? That's not fear. That's your spirit screaming for a chance to breathe. Let it breathe. Breathe life into your mission. Breathe fire into your routine, and stop chasing comfort like it's a prize. It's a trap. Comfort is the drug of the inactive, the sedative of the lost. And every second you chase it, you're trading purpose for peace. And not the good kind of peace. The fake kind. The peace that numbs you until you're dead inside. I want you to see it. Close your eyes and picture the worst-case scenario, not in some fluffy motivational speech, but in raw, gritty, graphic detail. You're still stuck in that same job. You're still living paycheck to paycheck. You're still blaming the world instead of owning your life. You look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person staring back at you. They look tired, empty, hollowed out by the weight of the things they never did. Now open your eyes and ask yourself if you're okay with that. If not, move. Because here's the truth. If the vision of that pain doesn't move you, nothing will. If you can stare down the barrel of your wasted future and feel nothing, you're already dying. But if it shakes you, if it rips through you like a bolt of lightning, then you've still got a shot. You've still got something left inside. And you owe it to yourself to use it. Inaction is easy. It's seductive. It whispers that tomorrow will be better, that you've got time, that you can figure it out later. But later is a lie. Tomorrow is a gamble. And time is not your friend. It's your judge. So don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Get up. Move. Fight. Build. Struggle. Rise. And for the love of your future, stop pretending that inaction is harmless. It's not. It's the most dangerous thing you'll ever choose. You don't want to find out what happens if you keep standing still. You don't want to meet the version of yourself that emerges after a decade of doing nothing. That version doesn't care anymore. That version doesn't dream anymore. That version lives in survival mode, blaming everyone else, rotting from the inside out. Visualize that and let it scare the hell out of you. Because the point of pain is not to break you, it's to wake you. And if you can see the pain that inaction brings, you can use it. You can burn with it. You can turn it into motion, into rage, into fire. You can get up and get it done, because the alternative is a prison cell of your own making, and you do not want to rot there. You are capable of more, but only if you move. Only if you fight. Only if you refuse to let your potential die quietly. Visualize the consequences of doing nothing, and then do something. Anything. Just don't let another day die in your hands while you're sitting around wishing things were different. Number 8, own everything. Blame nothing. There is no freedom like the moment you finally take full ownership of your life, and there is no prison more suffocating than the mindset that keeps blaming the world for your results. If you want to win, truly win, then you must understand one brutal, non-negotiable truth. Until you own everything in your life, nothing in your life will ever change. Not the way you want it to. Not the way you dream of. You will stay stuck. You will stay frustrated. You will stay behind. Because the second you assign blame, you surrender power. And make no mistake, this world does not hand power back to those who throw it away. You must take it ruthlessly, completely, with no apologies and no damn excuses. That's the truth. That's the raw, unfiltered core of personal power. You can't blame your parents and build a legacy at the same time. You can't point at the economy and rise to the top of your industry. You can't curse your ex, your boss, your trauma, or your bad luck and expect to feel free. The two realities cannot coexist. You either live in ownership or you live in chains. You either become the driver of your destiny or you rot in the passenger seat watching everyone else pass you by while you make one excuse after another for why it's not your fault. But guess what? The results still belong to you. That's the piece no one talks about. That's the gut punch. Even when it's not your fault, the consequences are still yours to live with. So here's the truth. If you have to pay the price anyway, you might as well take the damn wheel. Blame is comfortable. Ownership is terrifying. Blame lets you stay the same. Ownership demands that you change. Blame whispers, you're a victim. Ownership screams, you are the one. And if that scares you, good, it should. Because stepping into your power means stepping into the fire. It means confronting everything inside of you that is weak, small, lazy, entitled, cowardly, and dishonest, and burning it down. There is no evolution without confrontation, and there is no transformation without accountability. Every time you blame someone else, what you're really saying is, I am powerless. Every time you point a finger, you are admitting, whether you realize it or not, that someone else controls your life, that someone else dictates your results, that someone else is responsible for whether you rise or fall. And you know what? That is the most dangerous belief a human being can hold. Because the second you believe that lie, you stop fighting, you stop fixing, you stop growing, you stop trying. You settle into this identity of a person who is unlucky or misunderstood or treated unfairly. And from that place, nothing good ever grows. You want to know how warriors are built? How leaders are forged? How unshakable people rise out of hell? It's simple. They own everything. Not just the victories, not just the proud moments. Everything. The losses, the failures, the messes, the days they let their standards slip, the words they never should have said, the habits that cost them years, the decisions they made in weakness. They own it all, not because they enjoy the pain, but because they understand the power. Because they refuse to hand over responsibility for their life to anyone or anything outside themselves. And here's what no one wants to admit. There is always more you could have done. Always. That's not a burden, it's an invitation. It means you're never powerless. It means there is always a lever you could have pulled harder, a moment you could have risen higher, a choice you could have made differently. That's not a curse. That's the path. That's the gift. Because if there's always more you could have done, that means there's always more you can do. Right now, today. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? You're not stuck because of what someone did to you. You're stuck because you keep handing them the keys. You're not tired because life is too hard. You're tired because you've spent years dragging a ball and chain made of excuses, resentment, and victimhood behind you, and it's weighing down everything you try to build. Cut the chain. Burn the damn script that says you're a product of your past. Tear it up, spit on it, set it on fire, and write a new one. One that begins with, I am responsible for everything that happens next. Every breakthrough, every failure, every inch of progress, every lesson learned the hard way, every ounce of discipline or lack of it. It's all on me now. That's where freedom begins. That's where your life starts to bend in your direction. Blame feels good in the moment. It protects your ego. It gives you something to hold on to when the pain hits. But it comes at a cost. And that cost is your future. That cost is your ability to grow, to lead, to build, to win. And at some point, you've got to look at that cost and say, I'm done paying for things that don't serve me. You've got to stand up in the wreckage of your life and say, enough. I'm not blaming anymore. I'm building now, and I'm building with what I've got. No matter how unfair, no matter how broken, no matter how ugly, I'm using every scar, every screw-up, every missed opportunity, and I'm turning it into fuel. That's what this moment is about. This is the line in the sand where you stop hiding behind the world's unfairness and start proving that you're bigger than every setback. This is the point where your story stops being a tragedy and becomes a testimony. And it starts with the most dangerous, powerful sentence a person can say. It's my fault, and I'm fixing it. When you say that, when you mean it, you take back the power that blame stole from you. You rise from the ashes of excuses. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop crying for people to understand your pain, and you get to work. You shut your mouth, you square your shoulders, and you handle your business, not because it's fair, but because it's necessary. Because it's the only way out. You can't outrun pain. You can't outsmart failure. But you can outwork every excuse in the book if you're willing to own the entire damn story. If you're willing to stop pointing fingers and start moving your feet. The ones who succeed in life aren't the ones who had it easiest. They're the ones who stopped looking for someone to blame and started building anyway. So stop waiting for someone to apologize. Stop waiting for a better childhood. Stop waiting for your boss to change or your parents to understand or the world to become more fair. Own it. Own your anger. Own your procrastination. Own the years you wasted, the people you pushed away, the opportunities you let slip through your fingers, and then rise from it like a savage, like a warrior, like someone who refuses to let their story end in regret. Because here's the secret no one talks about. When you own everything, nothing owns you. Not your past, not your pain, not your fears, not your failures. You become untouchable. You become unstoppable. Because there is no circumstance you can't turn into fuel. No setback you can't turn into strategy. No loss you can't turn into a lesson. That's what happens when you take full responsibility. So ask yourself, are you willing to be free? Not just in theory, but in reality. Because freedom costs something, and the price is your excuses. The price is your old story. The price is the need to be right, the desire to be understood, the addiction to sympathy. You have to let it all go, you have to bury it. And in its place, you plant a new identity. I own everything. I blame nothing. This is your life, not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends. Yours. You are the author, the director, the builder. And if you don't like where it's going, change it. Take control. Set the pace. Push the standard. Own the chaos. Own the consequences. Own the growth. Own the damn glory. Because it's all yours, if you're willing to stop running from it. Number 9. Stop starting over. There comes a time in every person's life when they need to draw the line, not in sand, not in thought, but in blood. A permanent line. A line that says, I am done starting over. That's what we're talking about here. No more resets, no more delays, no more lies to yourself dressed up as second chances. You have to understand that the cycle of starting over is the silent destroyer of potential. It is the great thief of momentum, the brutal killer of identity. And every time you decide to start fresh, you are erasing the sweat, pain, and discipline it took to get as far as you already did. This isn't a game. You don't get infinite retries in life. Every time you hit reset, you're not only wasting time, you're training yourself to abandon ship the second it gets stormy. That habit will destroy you. Because the truth is, the people who win in life aren't the ones who start the most times. They're the ones who refuse to stop. You cannot become the person you dream of being if you keep erasing who you are becoming. Progress is a war. And in war, you don't retreat every time the enemy fires back. You hold your line. You bleed if you must. You fight forward. But you do not drop your weapons and say, I'll try again next week. That mentality is weakness disguised as hope, and it's killing your future. People love the idea of a fresh start because it gives them permission to fail without consequence. It offers a seductive comfort, the illusion of control. This time I'll do it perfectly, they whisper to themselves at 2 a.m., wiping away the disappointment of another failure. But they never do it perfectly, do they? Because starting over is easy. Sticking with it when it's hard is where the power is built. You're not tired of life. You're tired of never finishing what you start. And that fatigue, the soul-deep exhaustion you feel, isn't from doing too much. It's from abandoning yourself over and over again. It's from building momentum, feeling alive, then throwing it all away because it got inconvenient. And then you look around, wondering why you feel stuck, why nothing ever changes. It's because you've made starting over a habit. You've carved it into your identity, and it's bleeding your potential dry. Let me tell you something hard that most people won't say to your face. If you quit every time life hits back, you don't deserve success. Not yet, because success requires endurance. Grit, the refusal to bow when everything in you is screaming to run. Success requires that you face the urge to start over and say no, that you look at the path, torn and ugly, and say, I will not leave this road. I will build something here, even if I have to crawl. You think motivation will come back if you start again tomorrow. It won't. Discipline doesn't live in tomorrow. It lives in the moment you decide to keep going when it's no longer exciting. And you don't grow stronger by starting over. You grow stronger by continuing when it sucks. By waking up on the 37th day with no motivation, no visible progress, and showing up anyway. That's the crucible. That's the fire that forges identity. You want to be unrecognizable in a year? Then stop throwing away the hard days. Stop running when it's dark. Stop pressing restart every time it stops being easy. That's where transformation lives. In that exact moment when you want to quit and you don't. Do you understand how dangerous the start over mindset is? It's a trap dressed as opportunity. It tells you, just restart, you'll do better this time. But what it's really saying is, you're not strong enough to handle the process. And if you believe that lie long enough, you'll never build anything that matters. You'll stay stuck in a purgatory of good intentions and zero results. You'll waste years on half-built bridges and abandoned projects. And eventually, you'll start to believe that maybe success just isn't for you. But it's not because you couldn't do it. It's because you kept pressing reset before the reward came. You know what's even more dangerous than failure? Becoming comfortable with failure. When you start over enough times, you lose the sting of quitting. It becomes normal, expected, even justified. And when that happens, you've lost the war before it even started. You've handed over your future to comfort, and comfort will bury you if you let it. I want you to hear this clearly. You can't build a legacy on broken starts. You need roots, deep, painful, earned roots. You need consistency that shows up even when you don't feel like it. You need a reason so powerful that it drowns out every excuse. Starting over feels safe, but safe never changed the world. Safe never made anyone proud. Safe never forged strength. Safe kills dreams quietly and lets you smile while it does it. The truth is, no one's coming to save you. If you don't commit now, if you don't burn the bridge behind you, you'll stay trapped in the fantasy of what could be instead of fighting for what should be. Make a vow, not to start again tomorrow, not to try again next week, but to never stop again. Even when it's boring, even when you hate it, even when nothing is working. Because the person who gets what they want in this life is the person who doesn't stop moving forward, no matter what. Think of every time you've started over, every plan, every goal, every January 1st. How much time have you wasted? How many weeks, months, years have you poured into beginnings that never saw an end? Don't let another hour slip away into that abyss. Not one more. You are not broken. You are not incapable. You are simply undisciplined. But discipline is a choice, and you can choose it right now. No more resets, no more clean slates. You're not starting again. You're continuing. You're reclaiming every step you've already taken and building on it. Even if you've fallen off for days, weeks, months, you pick it up again and move. That's how winners are made. That's how unshakable people are born. By refusing to let the past dictate the future. You're stronger than your excuses. You're braver than your fears. And you are absolutely more capable than your track record says. But none of that matters if you keep pressing restart when things get hard. You want the life you've imagined? Then pay the price. The full price. No refunds. No restarts. Just relentless, daily commitment to move forward, even if it's just 1 inch at a time. You don't get to be both the person who gives up and the person who inspires others. You don't get to quit and still expect results. You have to choose, and that choice needs to be made now. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, right now. Choose to stop starting over. Choose to finish. Choose to go all in. From this moment on, you carry a new identity. The person who finishes what they start. Let that burn into your soul. Let it replace every excuse, every doubt, every weakness. When it gets hard, when you're tired, when you want to run, remember this. This is the moment most people start over, and this is the moment you don't. We have more interesting videos about Stoicism and the way of life. If you want to watch a video about 6 signs of a stupid person, please click link above in the video. If you like the video, or you don't want to miss further videos about Stoicism, please subscribe. Number 10. Decide once and never look back. There's a moment, a single moment, when everything in your life changes. It's not a gradual shift. It's not something that slowly creeps up on you. No, it's a moment you forge. A moment where your soul cracks open and something deeper than blood, deeper than breath, screams out a decision so final, so absolute, that the person you were 5 seconds ago is dead. That moment is when you decide. Not try, not hope, not see what happens. You decide, and you never look back. If you think success belongs to the people who are smarter, luckier, better connected, you're lying to yourself. Success belongs to the people who decide, who burn the boats, kill the excuses, set fire to the plan B, and stare straight into the storm saying, I'm not going anywhere. That's it. It's not sexy. It's not fancy. It's not some complicated life hack. It's brutal. It's primal. It's raw. and it works. Let me tell you what most people do. They try something for a while, then they hesitate. They dip a toe into discipline, then pull it back when it gets cold. They sort of commit to a goal, but the second it gets tough, the second their muscles ache, their mind doubts, or the world pushes back, they retreat. And then they lie to themselves. They say it wasn't the right time, that it wasn't the right idea, that it wasn't them, it was the market or the people or the circumstances. That's not how warriors move. That's not how legends rise. That's how people stay stuck. That's how people die slowly while pretending they're still alive. You want to change your life? You want to become someone who's unstoppable, unshakable, unforgettable? Then stop waiting for the perfect moment and decide. Once, for real. And here's the thing most people are too soft to admit. Making that decision, really making it, is violent. It kills off your old identity. It burns away every version of yourself that ever played small. It demands that you become someone else, stronger, colder, more focused. It doesn't tolerate your excuses, your laziness, your fears. It doesn't want to hear about your childhood or your boss or your burnout. It wants one thing: absolute commitment. When you truly decide, your energy changes. Your eyes change. Your posture, your walk, your tone, it all changes. You start moving through the world like someone who doesn't need to convince anyone anymore. You don't explain. You don't seek permission. You don't wonder what if. You've already chosen. You're in it. And there's no turning back. Because here's the truth. Every time you kind of decide something and then backtrack, you're training yourself to be weak. You're reinforcing that your word means nothing, that your goals are flexible, that your identity is optional, that your life is negotiable. But when you decide once and never look back, when you truly lock in, something changes forever. You become dangerous, not to others, to your old self. The version of you that procrastinated, that feared judgment, that sat on the sidelines watching other people live their lives, that version starts to panic. It knows it's dying. And good. It should. That part of you was never going to build anything that mattered. It was only ever going to build regret. Let's be clear. This isn't about being perfect. It's not about never feeling tired or never questioning yourself or never hitting setbacks. That's fantasy. What this is about, what separates the obsessed from the average, is that once you make the decision, it's done. The path is chosen. You may limp, you may crawl, you may bleed, but you do not leave. You do not quit. You do not go back to maybe. You want to write the book? Then decide to write it and finish it. You want to build the business? Then decide and go through hell if you have to. You want to transform your body, your finances, your relationships, your character? Good. Then sit with yourself. Slam the door shut on hesitation and decide who the hell you are now. Stop collecting information and start becoming the thing you already know you need to be. Stop watching people live with fire while you play in the ashes of almost. You don't need more tips. You don't need another mentor. You don't need permission. You need one thing, and it's terrifying because it's permanent. You need to decide. And when I say decide, I don't mean say it quietly in your head and hope the motivation sticks. I mean slam your fist on the table and scream it into your nervous system. I mean write it, brand it, tattoo it on your fucking soul. I mean wake up every single day with fire in your chest and no room for fallback plans. When you decide once and never look back, you develop something most people never taste. Peace. Not comfort, not ease, but peace. Peace that comes from knowing you're not bouncing between paths anymore. You're not second-guessing. You're not rewriting your mission every week. You're executing. You're focused. You're possessed. And no, not everyone will understand you. Most won't. That's fine. You didn't make this decision for their approval. You made it to become undeniable. The problem with half decisions is they create pain. Constant pain. Every time you start and stop, you feel the weight of failure, but you don't learn anything. Every time you doubt and retreat, you weaken your own identity. You lose trust in yourself. You feel the sting of betrayal. And the worst part is, it's you betraying you. But when you lock in, when you make the call and weld it shut, that pain stops. Because even when it's hard, even when you're crawling through the dirt of discipline, you're not conflicted anymore. You're not negotiating with weakness. You're free. Because you've already chosen the struggle. You've already accepted the cost. And now it's just execution. This is the price of greatness. It's not glamour, it's not applause, it's not ease. It's a decision so final that it obliterates all other options. And the people who live like this, the people who decide once and never look back, they're the ones who make history. They're the ones who move nations, rewrite rules, and redefine what's possible. Do you want to be average forever? Then keep hesitating. Keep tiptoeing around your life like it's fragile. But if you want to become a force of nature, if you want to leave something behind that matters, then you decide today, and you never look back. Because every second you spend waiting to feel ready is a second wasted. Every moment you delay is another moment you could have used to build the thing that saves your life, the thing that changes your family's legacy, the thing that proves you were here for something real. And you already know what needs to be done. That's the hardest part. You already know. You've known for a long time. You've been carrying this fire inside you, pretending it was a spark. But sparks die unless you feed them. So feed it. Set the whole damn forest of your doubts on fire and move. Make the call. Lock in. And no matter how long it takes, how many setbacks hit, how much resistance you face, you hold that decision in your chest like it's your last breath. Because for the old version of you it is. This is the new you. The version that gets up and gets it done. No looking back, no more doubts. Just relentless forward movement. Decide once. And never look back. Till the next time, stay strong and live wisely.